Hello everyone, it's Father Mark. As many of you know, we are coming up on the Feast of the Assumption. That is the feast of Mary being brought body and soul into heaven. Now normally this is a holy day of obligation, but this year it is not. And I thought I would just take a moment to explain that to you. First, I have brought with me here, I have it printed out to make sure that I'm reading it exactly because our pastor is a canon lawyer and I want to make sure I get this right. According to Canon 1246 of the Catholic Church, Sunday, on by which apostolic tradition and the Paschal mysteries celebrate, must be observed by the Universal Church as the primordial day of obligation. The following days must also be observed: the Nativity of our Lord Jesus Christ, which we call Christmas, the Epiphany, the Ascension, the body and blood of Christ, the Holy Mary, Mother of God, her Immaculate Conception, her Assumption, St. Joseph, St. Peter, and St. Paul the Apostles, and all saints. However, the canon does have this stipulation: with prior approval of the Apostolic See, that is the Pope, the Conference of Bishops can suppress some of the holy days of obligation or transfer them to Sunday. Now, Canon 1247 goes on to say that on Sundays and other holy days of obligation, the faithful are obligated to participate in the Mass. Moreover, they are to abstain from those works and affairs which hinder the worship to be rendered to God. In addition to Sunday, the days to be observed as holy days of obligation in the Latin Rite, which is ours, the Roman Rite, the Latin Rite, in the United States of America, in conformity with Canon 1246, the one I just read, are January 1st, the Solemnity of Mary, Mother of God, which you all know is the day that you all have to go to Mass after New Year's. Thursday of the 6th week of Easter, the Solemnity of the Ascension. August 15th, the Solemnity of the Assumption, which is what we're talking about right now. Also November 1st, which is the Solemnity of All Saints, which is going to follow under the same rule. December 8th, the Solemnity of the Immaculate Conception. And of course, December 25th, the Nativity of our Lord. Now, our own body of bishops here, which we call the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, the USCCB, they have put out the following document that was approved by the Pope. It says, whenever January 1st, the Solemnity of Mary, Mother of God, or August 15th, the Solemnity of the Assumption, or November 1st, the Solemnity of All Saints falls on a Saturday or on a Monday, the precept to attend Mass is abrogated, which is a fancy way of saying that the requirement is waived. This decree of all the Conference of Bishops was approved and confirmed by the Apostolic See, by the Pope, by a decree of the Congregation for Bishops, and then signed by various folks who work for the Vatican and for the Conference of Catholic Bishops. And this was actually disseminated to us by, back in the day, his name was Monsignor Robert Lynch. He is now the Bishop Emeritus of St. Pete, Bishop Robert Lynch. And this was put together back in 1992 by the Conference of Catholic Bishops. So that's the legalese understanding of it. That is why we are not obligated to celebrate the Holy Day of Obligation this year, why we are just celebrating it as a solemnity, and why Mass is optional. Now, some people ask, well, how do we have the right to do this? How is it that as a faith we can say that sometimes you do have to go to a Holy Day of Obligation, sometimes you don't? The answer is simple. The holy days of obligation were put into effect by the Church under the understanding of the Pope as the leader of our faith. The Pope as the heir of St. Peter, who Jesus gave authority to lead his Church, made these decisions throughout the years and centuries of the existence of the Church. And as such, as we see the canons of the Church, the laws that dictate how the Church is to run, makes reference so that if the Pope, being the heir of Peter, gives permission for us to make these changes, we can. And it's very clearly defined and written out how those changes are to be made and when and for what reasons. So I hope this helps you understand a little bit better why this year you don't have to go to Mass on Saturday and then again on Sunday. You could hear clearly in the laws. If you have any questions, feel free to drop us a line on our Facebook page or send an email. We'd be happy to help explain it further. But I hope this helps it to make a little more sense. God bless you. Take care and stay safe.